Planet of the Dead is a weird one for me. I've always viewed it as a bland, kind of forgettable episode. Pretty middle of the road. That was until I rewatched it. And oh boy, yeah, the problems really start to become apparent. So, written by Russell T Davies and Gareth Roberts, Planet of the Dead is the beginning of the end for the 10th Doctor. It was also the first and only Easter special, and it pretty much sees the Doctor get on a bus, the bus ends up going through a wormhole, and they end up on another world. The episode starts off with Lady Christina de Souza, a character that is very split in the fandom. I don't mind her actually. I know a lot of people give her slack saying, oh, but she's too cocky, she's really annoying, but I think that works alongside Tennant's Doctor, who is very up himself. You know, having a character that's somehow more of an arse than Tennant just works for me. So, she's breaking into the National Gallery of London. Wait, was that a bus going past? Pretty sure buses don't go through Trafalgar Square, but okay. Inside the gallery, Lady Christina is set out to steal this golden gauntlet thing. Can't quite remember the name of it. Put it on screen. And this is where we come to our first problem. What? First off, armed guards, laser beams. Seems a little bit overkill, don't you think? Secondly, if you've went to the bother of putting laser beams around it, then why did they only cover the outsides and not the top? Like, surely it would have made more sense to put it in a glass case. At least then, when actual visitors are in, and there won't be all these lasers and guards, it won't get knocked or anything. And thirdly, she somehow manages to cut a perfect hole in the ceiling, break in, steal the cup, without any of the guards noticing. I mean, come on, if you can afford lasers to keep this stupid cup thing, then surely you can afford some kind of security that would stop someone cutting a hole out of the ceiling. Okay, so she runs off. Oh wait, she's inside. Okay, so let's get this straight. She was on the roof of the gallery, she breaks in, she goes out, she goes back inside, takes off her mask so all the cameras can see her, and then runs off. Well done. She runs out of the building, police are already there, they arrest her partner, she sees a bus, hops on it, the Doctor gets on, and that's pretty much where this episode starts off. Now, there's something I actually quite like about the Doctor just getting on a bus. I know it sounds a bit daft, but I don't know, I just like the Doctor in these sort of everyday situations, like getting on a bus, being in an office, you know, that type of stuff. So the reason the Doctor's got on this bus is that he's scanning for something, he knows that there's something wrong. Pretty much as the bus begins to take off, Mr. Detective Man, that's his name, don't Google it, spots her, and then it turns into this epic car chase. It doesn't. The bus ends up going through this wormhole, which takes them onto the Planet of the Dead. We'll get into why it's called that later. Pretty much it's all just sand, as far as the eye can see. They actually filmed this in Dubai, and yeah, it does look good. From this point on, the pacing really slows down. There's a lot of things that happen, but none of them really add anything. They're all just kind of there for the sake of moving the plot along, and it's just a bit dull. Okay, so the bus driver walks through the portal, he gets killed, wah-de-da-de-da. The reason he didn't die coming through was because the bus worked as a shell which protected them, so that's all good. Unit come along to try and close up the wormhole. I honestly can't remember any of the side characters' names that were on the bus. The Doctor gets to fix the bus, whilst him and Christina go off to kind of see what's going on. Oh no, it's a scary monster! No. So yeah, the Doctor and Christina bump into a race called the Tritivores. They're pretty much just flies in boiler suits, because you know that whole thing of, if we make it an animal and put it in a boiler suit, that's an alien. I mean, we've had pigs, rhinos, cats, fish, and now flies. Yeah, so they end up going back to their ship. We find out that the Tritivores have crashed after something jammed their engine. We also find out why the Tritivores are here. They're here to trade with the people of this world, because they come and give them resources, and in return they'll get waste because they're flies and they eat shit. Meanwhile, the Doctor's having a look for their databanks, and they come across footage of this world from just a year ago. where it's all cities and life and stuff is happening, and then we find out what's happened. Turns out there's these metal manta ray things which devour worlds. They create wormholes and hop planet to planet, leaving behind just sand. And that is why this episode is called Planet of the Dead. We also find out that it was one of the manta rays that has been caught in the Tritophor's engine, and that is why they crashed. And then we find out there's a storm on the way. Millions upon millions of mantas, all heading towards the wormhole to Earth. Oh yeah, and also while they were there, they also picked up these clamp things that you stick on the bus and it'll fly. So, after that, the Doctor and Christina run back to the bus. The Tritophors are killed off, probably to save some exposition. Meanwhile, on the other side, UNIT are wanting to close the wormhole. We have Lee Evans playing Malcolm, who is a character that I just love. I don't know why, he's kind of like an early version of Osgood, only less fan servicey. So, pretty much UNIT want Malcolm to close the wormhole now, and he's like, yeah, sure, as soon as the Doctor gets through. The captain isn't happy with this, she pulls a gun on him, but Malcolm doesn't back down because he has full faith that the Doctor can get back before the Mantis can get through to destroy Earth. Meanwhile, back at the bus, the Doctor's fitted the clamps, but turns out it's not good enough. He needs something gold. Well, isn't that convenient? This is one of the parts of the story that's like, really? Like, out of anything, did it have to be gold? It just happens to be the one thing that she has. Like, even if you had just said some kind of precious metal or something, that would have been better than, I need specifically gold, the one thing that you just happen to have in your bag. You know, it's just a bit bad. Oh no, I haven't even got onto the psychic woman yet. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, this gets worse at the end of the episode, but pretty much there's this woman on the bus who has psychic abilities, and because they're on a different planet, her psychic abilities are increased by an alien sun or something stupid like that. I don't know. It's just one of them annoying RTD things. And yeah, the Doctor fits the gold to the bus. The bus flies up, goes back through the wormhole, back to Earth, and everything is alright. I'm just going to say one thing. There was millions of manta ray speeding towards that wormhole, yet you have time to fly about, enjoying yourself, for like a solid 30 plus seconds, and you've not even thought, oh, I should probably ring Malcolm to close the wormhole now. Like, okay, I know 2 or 3 get through, but there should have been a shitload more than that. They were literally right on your tail, and if you can afford to waste any time having a little laugharoo, then you deserve to die. That got dark. I'm sorry. So after that, the wormhole gets closed, the mantas get shot, they don't kill anyone, which is disappointing, but it's Easter, so it needs to be happy, guys. Like, I really wish they just killed off at least 1 or 2 UNIT side characters, just to make it feel a bit more a threat. These were literally bigged up to be world destroyers. We turn your planets to sand. And, you know, they just get shot at a few times. I mean, I guess it makes sense because UNIT have probably faced a lot worse and probably have the weaponry for this kind of stuff. But I don't know, after finding out what these things are capable of, only to be taken out by a few people with guns, is a little disappointing. So yeah, they land the bus, Christina gets arrested, the Doctor meets Malcolm, which was a scene I actually really liked. There was a little mention to Robot, which I found quite good. And then we get some foreshadowing to End of Time, because, you know, that's what I want. Pretty much the psychic woman at the end comes up whilst everyone's thanking the Doctor for, oh, thanks for saving us and getting us off this world, blah blah blah. She says something along the lines of, your song is ending, he will knock 4 times. Just like, really? What's the whole point of you being psychic just for that little bit at the end? Yeah, to be honest, probably it definitely was. And then it ends. Oh wait, it doesn't. The Doctor goes back to his TARDIS, he looks over at the police car Christina's in, he points a sonic screwdriver, and opens the door. Woo. To be honest, I'm not really fussed about this ending. I mean, I do think it's quite cheesy that she then goes off into the bus and just flies off, and then gets her own big finished box set. But hey, why not?
I'd step back if I were you.
I'm charging you too, aiding and abetting.
Yes. I'll just step inside this police box and arrest myself.
So yeah, overall, Planet of the Dead is a bit shit. There were things to like in it, like Doctor getting on the bus. There was a few nice interactions between him and the passengers. You know, he was giving a little speech about how like the most normalist of things make people and stuff like that. You know, there was a few nice moments in there. I liked Malcolm, but yeah, other than that, it was quite trash. Like, I know when I'd done my next Doctor review, I was quite harsh in that, and I have went back on a lot of that. I can now look back at it and be like, Next Doctor's not that bad, because I think I gave that like a 4 of 10 or something. It deserves 5 or 6 now. Planet of the Dead deserves a 4 of 10. It's just bad. The pacing's too slow, nothing really happens. What does happen's pointless. It's kind of like Twice Upon a Time. You're watching the episode, stuff is happening, but at the same time, you haven't really got anywhere. It's just a thin line of nothing with some shit sprinkled on top. That is how I would sum up Planet of the Dead. A thin line of nothing with a sprinkle of shit on top, and maybe a marshmallow because there is the odd good bit.